Warning: this content may be hazardous to your opinion. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey guys, welcome to the Toxic Talkshow. I'm CharlesCharlieCharles, and as Wesley couldn't make it today, I'm here with the other half of Toxisoris.
Hey guys, I'm Henry. I am, as was introduced, the other half of Toxisoris. I do my own YouTube channel with my buddy Wesley that you know from this show.
You do what you do, what you do, what you do.
Yeah, we do what we do, what we do, what we do.
Damn right. And today we're doing something a little bit different to the last couple of episodes. We're going to be pitching two separate game series at you, and you have to pick, based on our pitches, which game you would rather play.
And I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun little idea.
To throw in a little bit more of information, these are picks from strictly when we were children, when we were playing games when we were younger.
That is a good thing to point out, yeah. But we'll jump right into it, and Henry's going to go first with his pitch.
All right, so if we're just going to jump right into it, I've got my first pitch. It's a game series really dear to my heart, the Legend of Zelda series, but it's a specific game. And today I've chosen Legend of Zelda, The Oracle of Seasons, which is one of my favorite handheld Zelda games to date. I was lucky enough to get a Game Boy Color when I was younger, thanks to copious amounts of begging from my parents, and I finally got one, and that was one of the first games I got. The Oracle of Seasons is pretty cool because around this time, early 2000s, I believe it released in 2001 for the Game Boy Color, Nintendo was into that interlocking story kind of deal where you'd play one game and it would, transfer over to the other one. So they planned out 3 Zelda games. It turned out to be a little bit too difficult though, and they ended up doing only 2. And so they released the Oracle of Seasons and the Oracle of Ages for the Game Boy Color in 2001. Those two games went on to sell like 4 million copies combined and solidly cemented themselves as Zelda classics. They're really great, and the reason I bring up the Oracle of Ages is because they did an interlocking story thing. If you have both games, you can, if you beat one, you'll get a code that you can enter into the other one, and it will add cool little Easter eggs, and they'll reference stuff that you did in the other game, and little similar areas that are kind of the same but not. It's really cool, but we'll be focusing more on Oracle of Seasons and why you should go out and play it. It opens up pretty much like any Zelda game that you would imagine. Link riding up on a horse, he spies a castle in the distance on the horizon, and he makes his way there. You go into the castle, see the Triforce, and it tells you pretty much that there's a land in trouble called Holodrum, and it teleports you there. After a little bit of exploring around in Holodrum, you meet this traveling troupe. You kind of hang out, dance with their main attraction, Din. Anybody who's a big Zelda fan knows where this is going. After a while, Onyx, this big bad of this world, attacks. In the ensuing chaos, Din is revealed to be the Oracle of Seasons. Who saw that coming? And you are then tasked with rescuing her as she is imprisoned in Onyx's fortress in a crystal. And the seasons of Holodrum just go haywire, like everything's all messed up. The game is really fun to me because it's really true to the old Zelda style. It's a top-down game that plays really smoothly for a handheld. I loved it as a kid. It stays true to the same format. You find out where you need to go, you go there, there's a dungeon, you fight the boss in the dungeon, you get an item, you move on. All the items help you to traverse other areas, there's exploring to be done. It's really cool. All of the fan favorites are there. You got the pots that you don't own, that you smash anyway. You got NPCs in towns offering up side quests. It's a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite things about it. If you do happen to get both of the games and you beat them, a cool little thing they did was they added 2 secret bosses for doing that. After beating the main boss of either game, you would then be tasked with fighting Twinerva and Ganon in those orders right after each other. So it added a cool little bit of playability, and I really enjoy that about old Zelda games, being able to play them more. Along with that, for completionists, I do have to say it is a little bit tricky because there are rings to collect which require multiple playthroughs and then playthroughs of both games. So if you're a completionist, it's gonna give you a little bit of a hard time, but it's fun. It's you get your sword, and as any gamer knows, you know what to do with that sword. It's time to kick some baddie ass. So you go around and you hunt. There's cool, unique little animal companions that you can get in the game. My personal favorite being Ricky, the tornado punching kangaroo that you can hop inside of and ride. I mean, come on. If that doesn't sell you the game, I don't know what will. You get a ride in a kangaroo to traverse some pretty cool parts. You also get a unique item in this one called the Rod of Seasons, which is exactly what you'd expect it to do. It changes the seasons, which allows you to do some pretty interesting puzzles, as well as traverse certain areas that you couldn't get to before, such as this one place where it's all water, and then you change it to winter, and it freezes over, and then you're access to the next area. So it's got all your favorite stuff like that. You gotta get items to traverse certain areas, explore more. Secrets hidden here here and there. The bosses are really fun. The music is really well done for a Game Boy Color game. I just personally love it, and I might be a huge Zelda fanboy. I absolutely love Zelda, and this game is so close to my heart because I played it as a kid, and I didn't have a lot of games growing up. But yeah, a lot of the classic weapons are there, like your boomerang, your slingshot, your bombs, along with other things. Along with the kangaroo, there's also this like little flying bear whose name I don't remember that also helps you traverse around, and he's pretty cool too. And they're all sentient too. They're not just creatures that you find. They talk to you. They're actual people. There is a few tricky parts where it's not always obvious where to go, but if you're used to exploring around it, you'll pick up pretty quick and figure it out. Other than all of that, though, I love this game so much and would love for you to try it yourself that I wrote up a huge... I'll show you real quick. I wrote up this huge... If it focuses, it's not going to focus. You can't see it, but oh well. And I wrote up this huge script for this, timed it to make sure it was perfectly to the size I wanted it to be. I went through it several times, and I threw it out the window. Most of the script I didn't even talk about. I decided to talk to you guys straight from my heart because that's where this game resides. It's so well done. It came out near the end of the Game Boy's lifespan, but they pushed that hardware as far as they could go with it. They really put a lot of work in it, and it shows. The music is beautifully rendered in that nice little kind of 8-bit style, but it's your classic Zelda themes and music along with some unique ones for the game itself. If you love Zelda, it's a must play. You gotta go out and get it. If you're a completionist, I'd recommend going out and get the Oracle of Ages too and play them together because it actually has complete storyline too. I forgot to mention that. If you get both of the games and you play them together, they have their separate endings, but then there's a true ending that you can get through both of them. And that was really cool to me as a kid, especially because there wasn't a lot of games like that back then. And that's pretty much all I have to say about it. It's so well done and so beautifully put together. It's so amazing to me that you could do that with a handheld Zelda at that. And I've gone back and played it like several times. So I definitely recommend you go out and play it, especially if you're a Zelda fan.
Well, I mean, I don't know how I'm going to follow that, to be honest. I'm going to just go out on a limb here and say you put a lot more effort into your presentation than I did.
I wanted it to be a good video. I wanted to portray my feelings for the game.
Oh,
to
you
the people.
You did that. I just don't know how the fuck I'm supposed to follow that act. I mean, you were talking about how long your script is. My script is 4 lines.
Oh yeah, if it showed up, which it didn't because the lighting. I wrote like paragraphs of script, man. Like I wanted to get all the talking points that were amazing to me, and I wanted to hit the emotional stuff to me, and I just threw it out the window. I was like, nope, from the heart. That's what you guys deserve.
From the
you guys
heart.
deserve real recognize real.
Real recognize real, right? But when I suggested we do the whole sale pitch thing, I literally meant like a sales pitch, so short and punchy and to the point, like an advert.
That is my sales pitch. That's how I sell things.
Yeah, okay. sit down, son. I've got an 8-minute advert for you.
You gotta get people wanting it, you know?
No, but I mean, the games do sound absolutely awesome. I can't dispute that. You made them sound absolutely fantastic.
Well, I'm glad I did. My script did what it needed to do.
The script that you didn't use.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
An hour writing that script.
Yeah, I spent about 5 minutes on mine, and it doesn't hold up compared to that. I'm kind of embarrassed to fucking follow my script now.
That's right. Guests on this show come and just top the main people. That's what we do here. That's what we're about.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm literally embarrassed to read mine out now.
Just pull it from the heart, man. Just start
I can't. I don't remember
game.
the fucking game.
Why you love? Yeah, I went back and watched some gameplay.
Like,
videos
I'll
too.
talk about why I love the game afterwards, but I'll start off with this pathetic little sales pitch that I wrote. Oof. Oh, composure. I deserve to be here. Did Zelda's combat look too fast-paced for you? Well, why not try Final Fantasy Mystic Quest instead? This classic RPG comes fully equipped with cutting-edge turn-based combat, a hilariously cliched storyline, and a beautiful soundtrack tying it all together. Take control of your hero of circumstance, assemble a party of willing heroes and heroines, and begin your epic adventure to save the world from chaos. Nothing says early 90s RPGs like Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. And that's it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Because you did exactly what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Because
I did what
just communication got crossed, you know.
Exactly.
Like you pitched me the idea, and you were like, let's do a sales pitch for like 5 minutes each. And I was like, all right, 5-minute sales pitch. I got this.
Yeah,
but now
I might
hearing
have,
your advert,
I might have
meant.
misspoken on the 5 minutes thing. I was meaning more that we try and keep it to 5 minutes per game with a bit of discussion after the
that
pitches.
makes way more sense
But
now.
I mean, you sold me. You gave me the hard sell on that game, and you forced that down my throat. And I really want to go back and play it now.
But I guess I'm good.
To follow up with your,
if YouTube doesn't work out.
To follow up with your from the heart sort of thing, I loved this game as a kid. I only found out literally in the last year or two that this was a Final Fantasy game. I always thought that
you tell me about that.
I thought that Final Fantasy X was my first Final Fantasy, and then I looked up Mystic Quest last year or the year before, and it's like, oh, this is a Final Fantasy game. I guess I've been playing them all my life.
Yeah.
But the thing that
I didn't even know that game existed until you mentioned it.
Oh yeah,
when we were first starting to talk about this.
This game's older than me. I think it came out in 91. Might have been 92, but it was the beginning of the 90s. The reason that I love this game so much, though, is because I really, as a kid, I didn't have many consoles, so I had to play on what was basically handed down to me from my extended family. Like, I got the SNES from my uncle, which is the system that this is played on. And my mum is really bad at games, she's not. She's really good at 2D games, but she can't get her head around 3D gaming, right?
Yeah, my parents are the same way.
But the thing was that because this was a turn-based 2D adventure RPG, so it looks like what modern RPG Maker games look like now. But it was so much fun because what we would do is we sat down and we played it together. But I distinctly remember Mum sitting there with a notepad, right? Like an A4 notepad, meticulously noting down every line of dialogue in the game in case it was ever useful and we needed to look back through our notes to read what had been said. And it's like, oh my god, I miss those innocent times.
Yeah,
before the days of walkthroughs and the internet and stuff. Because this was this must have been the end of the 90s. This must have been like 99 or 2000. Because that's why this game's such a fond memory for me. Like, the fact that it's a Final Fantasy game is just the little cherry on top. Like a little funny, I've been playing Final Fantasy games longer than I thought. No wonder it's my favourite series.
Yeah, that's always awesome too.
The fact that me and my mum played this from start to finish together, and then just those little things that just made it that special to me.
That's awesome.
So those were the pitches. Those are our arguments. We've done what we came to do. Now it's your turn. Which game would you rather play? Which game do you think? Whose salesmanship did you prefer? Leave your answers in the comments.
I would real quick like to say thank you so much for having me on as a guest.
You're
really appreciate it.
Very welcome, and you're welcome back.
I'm also sorry that our communication got misconstrued and I went ham with the pitch of the Zelda.
I think it added its own little element of comedy to proceedings, so I ain't mad. It was my fault. I should have been clearer. It didn't help that we came up with this idea literally midnight last night.
Yeah.
Last minute ideas, ladies and gents. Anyway, I've been CharlesCharlieCharles.
And I'm Henry from Toxisoris.
This has been the Toxic Talk Show. Hope you've enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did. Don't forget to subscribe to me as well as the boys over at Toxisoris. And we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.
Bye.